Welcome into Starcade Media, everybody. I'm Noah Gronniger. And before we get started, I want to make sure that each and every one of you are subscribed to us here on YouTube. So take a second and hit that subscribe button below. Also, hit the notification bell off to the side. That way, you get notified first when we go live or a new show or episode or video here drops right here on our channel at Starcade Media. Also, give this video a thumbs up or a like, because that is very important to what we do here. Also, hit us up in the comments below. I want to hear what you guys have to say. We love interacting with our fans and anyone who comes across our channel and these videos and gives us your time and watches these. So we thank you for that. We appreciate that. But let's get into our topic today. And today I'm going to be ranking my top 20 favorite Kansas City Chiefs of all time. Now, I say of all time, but it's really probably from 92 on, because that's when I really became a fan of my hometown Kansas City Chiefs. At number 20, I'm going to start off with Kimball Anders, a very versatile running back slash fullback, catch out of the backfield. He can find the holes. He was a really good running back. When he did take over in 2000, he got hurt and then he was unceremoniously cut, but Kimball Anders is a big one for me. I'm a huge fan of his. So, number 19, I'm going to go with Marcus Peters. Yes, he had his issues here, but man, you need a big play. You need a big turnover. You need momentum to swing. Just look at number 22, Marcus Peters, while he was here, and you could count on him to rip a ball away, jump a route, and get a big pick. So Marcus Peters comes in at number 19. Number 18, I'm going to go Jared Allen. Wasn't here for a long time. I think he was meant to be a Kansas City Chief. Should have been here longer. It ended up us trading him away to the Vikings. We got Jamal Charles, so the trade ended up working out. Got a great running back. But man, I love me some Jared Allen, a sack dance, hog tying. I miss that. Number 17, I'm going to go Kareem Hunt. There's not many running backs on this list, but he's one of them for me. I love Kareem. Again, someone that we know the situation. We know what happened, and he was a Cleveland Brown. Now he's a free agent looking for his next opportunity. But when he was here, this offense has never been more electric than when we had Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce and Sammy Watkins. And yes, in the backfield, number 27, Kareem Hunt. I miss that. I wish there was a way we could reunite, but with him lying and the whole incident of what happened, I don't think it's going to be the case. Number 16, I'm a wide receiver guy, so we're going to see a run on wide receivers. Dwayne Bowe, one of the best receivers we have had in our history. It's kind of sad to say because Dwayne Bowe's not going to make the Hall of Fame, but he didn't have a lot of great quarterbacks to work with either. The Brody Croyles and Brock Hewards and Tyler Thigpens and Matt Castles left a lot to be desired for Dwayne Bowe putting up big numbers, but he was still able to do it. We were still able to count on him as our number one option. So I got to give it up to Dwayne Bowe at number 16. 15, I'm going to go J.J. Burton. Back in the day when I just started on the scene of being a Chiefs fan, he was one guy that caught my eye. Acrobatic catches, sure-handed guy, smaller in stature, but quick speed, quick in and out of breaks. I love what we had in J.J. Burton. Number 14, Dante Hall. What more do I need to say? The human joystick, the X factor, the explosion on kick returns and punt returns. You had to fall in love with Dante Hall. He was even used as a receiver and very effective in that role as well, making guys miss. His start-stop, his acceleration, his bend around the corner. Gotta love Dante Hall. At number 13, I'm going to go to Merrick Vanover. Kind of the first return guy that I saw that the Chiefs had that kind of could break a game open. Game-winning drive on Monday night in 95 against the San Diego Chargers in overtime. Merrick Vanover takes it back to the house. Woo, I never knew that that was possible. I always thought just kick and punt returns were just ho-hum, just let's get this formality out of the way. No, not with Merrick Vanover and not with Dante Hall. And then we've seen it with Tyreek Hill as well when he was here. But yeah, Merrick Vanover is going to have to be 13 for me. Number 12 is very sentimental, kind of why I am a Chiefs fan today. One of the reasons I saw Willie Davis, number 84, back in the early 90s, catch a ball diving down the right sideline, and I never knew something like that was possible. So I fell in love with football and the Chiefs right there and Willie Davis, and 84 has kind of been, I was born in 1984. Willie Davis wore number 84, and 84 has kind of been my go-to number, my favorite number since that time. I also fell in love with Herman Moore and Joey Galloway, two other receivers, number 84. Number 11, Trent Green. Probably one of the best quarterbacks we've had in our history outside of Len Dawson, Joe Montana, obviously Patrick Mahomes. Got to put Trent Green right there, probably at number 4. And so he led one of the most explosive offenses, not only in Kansas City Chiefs history, but in NFL history. A great guy. He's great on CBS. He's been on our show. Got to love Trent Green. So he's number 11 for me. Number 10, I'm going to go James Hasty. Physical, bump and run style corner, really brought a lot to our defense. We had Dale Carter, but we never really had a great corner on that other side that we could have a really strong duo. James Hasty came over. He's been on our show. We've talked to him. He's a good dude. I can call him up anytime and he'll talk, text, whatever. And he's very open about those times, the good and the bad. And so I love just talking ball with James. And so he's number 10 for me. Number 9, Andre Bad Moon Rison. But when he was here, it was Spider-Man. So whether it's him latching on to the goalpost, whether it's him doing the Spider-Man after a big catch, you got to love Andre Rison. At number 8, Frank Clark. He grew on me. Not a big fan of giving up first-round picks. Not a fan of giving out $100 million contracts. And we didn't get probably the first-round pick and the $100 million's worth out of him during the regular season. But, man, he showed up when it came playoff time. Playoff Frank Clark was a different animal. Helped us win 2 Super Bowls, Super Bowl 54, Super Bowl 57. Just his mentality, his approach to the game, the way he attacked it, the way he talked about it. You could see and feel that it just meant so much to him. And this game means so much to him. We've even heard some reports that he's not getting what he thought, or maybe his agent thought, or in free agency. And maybe there's a chance he could reunite and come back here to Kansas City. And I would absolutely love it. I love the leadership. I love his mentality. And so I would welcome Frank Clark back with open arms, and he makes it number 8 on my top 20 favorite Chiefs of all time. Number 7, Marcus Allen. He came over with Joe Montana. I've never seen a running back be able to find the hole, sliver through it, no matter how small a hole, always fall forward, nose for the end zone, classy guy, always known as one of the locker room leaders, even with a Derek Thomas and Joe Montana. Guys all looked at Marcus Allen just as much as they did anyone else in that locker room. So Marcus Allen, number 7. Number 6, maybe kind of low, but I'm going to go Travis Kelce here. I have never seen anyone run routes, get open, know where to sit in zones, and if he needs to keep going, and just be able to get open no matter what it is, no matter what his age is. If he's slowing down, I can't tell, because all the man does is get open. You saw his smarts in the end of that divisional game against the Buffalo Bills with the 13 seconds left. He's telling Tyreek Hill what to do before his play. Then he's telling Patrick Mahomes what to do. And Patrick Mahomes says, do it, Kelce, do it. And so they run up the seam. People say bad defense by the Bills, but key and smart mental game there by Travis Kelce, along with Patrick Mahomes telling him to do his idea of just running up the seam, getting the ball to him quick, getting down, calling the timeout. We go to overtime and win that game. So Travis Kelce's got to be up here, and he's number 6 for me. Number 5, I'm going to go Tyreek Hill, the cheetah. Man, I'd hated to see him go. I'm a wide receiver guy. He's a generational talent, one of the best we've ever seen, maybe the best Chiefs wide receiver of all time. He's right there with Otis Taylor. Otis Taylor has a little better numbers because we traded Tyreek. But man, I've never seen anyone with that acceleration, that explosion, the vertical on such a small stature receiver, being able to locate the ball, run and get it. Anything you want out of a wide receiver, really, other than just being 6'5", Tyreek Hill is and has. So it was a sad day to see him go. I can't believe we won a Super Bowl without him. We did. You got to tip your cap to Andy Reid, to Brett Veach, to Patrick Mahomes, to Travis Kelce, knowing what they had, knowing what they could do even without him, getting the picks that they had, replenishing this roster with young, talented rookies. And man, I didn't think they could do it, and they did it. They proved me wrong. They proved the world wrong. but I'd still love Tyreek Hill here. I miss him. I miss the cheat. I miss that explosion. I miss the excellence, the prowess of the wide receiver skills that he put on display each and every time they took the field. So he's in my number 5. Number 4, talked about him a little bit earlier, not James Hasty, his running mate, Dale Carter. Just the speed, the being able to locate the football, make a play on it, the makeup speed, even if he did get beat off the line with a jam, somebody was able to knock his hands down, get him kind of off his footing and take off. Man, his makeup speed, he would make that up in an instant. People talk about the Rod Woodsons, the Darrell Greens, the Deion Sanders. Of course, great corners. I don't think Dale Carter gets enough credit for just how great he was. Had some issues off the field, but man, when he laced him up and stepped on the football field, there weren't many better at corner in the history of this game than Dale Carter. And I don't think enough Chiefs fans talk about him. Just moving on because we've got Mahomes and Travis Kelce and what we've done with these 2 Super Bowls. A lot of these older guys are getting a little bit forgotten, and he's somebody I had to mention, and he's number 4 on my list, Dale Carter, one of the true shutdown corners. And number 3, Derek Thomas, DT, one of the best pass rushers in history. We've had a lot of great ones, and Bruce Smith and Reggie White and Lawrence Taylor, and the list goes on and on. The Deacon Jones to go way back, and of course, got your Von Millers and your J.J. Watts, your Warren Sapps, your Aaron Donalds, and Tom Bahali's and Justin Houston's here. But man, Derek Thomas really stands out. No one, and I mean no one, has had a first step like Derek Thomas. Von Miller, you always heard stories about how Kobe Bryant imitated Michael Jordan, imitated his game, got as close as he could, but could never really replicate Michael Jordan. Von Miller looked up to Derek Thomas. That's a guy he grew up watching, idolizing, trying to model his game after. And he's gotten close. He's a great one, but you can't replicate what Derek Thomas did. His first step off the ball, bending around the corner, getting as low as he could, getting around that tackle, and tomahawk chopping the quarterback's arm to cause a fumble. I've never seen anything like it. There's been guys with different moves that have been impressive, that have more sacks, like a Bruce Smith, a Reggie White in his hump move. Lawrence Taylor was just a physical beast animal throwing guys around. But Derek Thomas had a skill set that no one else has had. So he's my number 3. At 2, I'm going Joe Montana. Joe Cool. A lot of people, maybe not a lot, but there's people out there that kind of talk down Joe Montana's time here in Kansas City. He said he was often injured, which he was. And they say quarterbacks like Alex Smith were better than Joe Montana. Alex Smith might have played longer, but Joe Montana took us to an AFC championship game, an offense that was limited talent-wise. Had some good offensive linemen, your Zotts, Grunhard, Shields, had Marcus Allen in the backfield. But the weapons, we talked about Willie Davis and J.J. Burton. I love those guys, but Randy Moss and Megatron and T.O. and Jerry Rice, they were not. So tight end, did we have a Travis Kelce, a Gronk, a Tony Gonzalez? No, we did not. Had Keith Cash and Derek Walker and Tracy Green. I mean, there was a lot left to be desired on the offensive side of the ball, skill set wise, especially at wide receiver and tight end, which the quarterback throws to most of the time. But Joe Montana was the leader. He changed the culture. He showed these guys what it takes to win, and he led them every step of the way. Well, he wasn't a rah talk guy. He was a watch me, and I'll talk when I need to, but I can give you a look, and you know, because we've talked about this in meeting rooms and practice, you know what I'm thinking. You know what I'm conveying. And so Joe Money, Joe Cool, Joe Montana is my number 2 for what he did in getting us to an AFC championship game. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget those times. I thank him for that. And he's my number 2. At number 1, Patrick LaVon Mahomes. 2 Super Bowl victories. He's been to 3 Super Bowls already in his young career. 2 Super Bowl MVPs, 2 regular season MVPs, the quarterback that changed the landscape of the Kansas City Chiefs franchise. He's a leader on the field. He's a leader off the field. You see what he's doing in the offseason, working out with the receivers down in Texas. What more can you say about Patrick Mahomes that hasn't already been said? I was jealous growing up of Dan Marino and John Elway and Brett Favre and then Aaron Rodgers and those fan bases, because they had the gunslinger. They had the guy that could make any throw into any tight window, lead their team to Super Bowls, lead their team to big victories, whether it be regular season, the playoffs. And I wanted that type of quarterback. Instead, I got Alex Smith, Captain Checkdown. I got Steve Bono, Bonehead Bono. I got Elvis Gerbach. I got Tyler Thigpen and Damon Heward and Brody Croyle and Matt Castle. It was bad news for so many years growing up being a Chiefs fan, but now the sun is shining and the good times are here because we have possibly the greatest quarterback in the history of the National Football League. He doesn't have the 7 Super Bowls that Tom Brady has, but he has all the skills and then some of anyone who's ever played. The Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre's, Dan Marino's, you name it, he's got it. He's the total package. Take all those guys' skills and combine them into one, and that is Patrick Mahomes, and we are so lucky. I always wanted a gunslinger. I remember that draft in 2017. We moved up from 27 to 10. Everyone thought, oh, this is Deshaun Watson. He's proven he's a known commodity. We saw what he did at Clemson in college, winning the national championship, slaying the dragon that is the Alabama Crimson Tide and Nick Saban. But I was lurking in the background saying, no, I want the gunslinger. I want the unknown. I want the Big 12 quarterback. I know they haven't had success, but I want the gunslinger and Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and John Dorsey. And yes, Brett Veach in the background, not the GM yet. That would remain to be seen. But the player development guy and watching the tape and the scout and tuning Andy Reid and John Dorsey into and onto the quarterback that would become already a legend, already a first ballot Hall of Famer, and he's got a lot more left to accomplish. So my number one, and everyone's number one, I don't know anyone who would have a different one, Patrick LeVon Mahomes. So that's my top 20 favorite Kansas City Chiefs list. Let me know yours. Who did I miss? Who did I leave out? Who would you guys have put on? Some offensive linemen that I didn't have. Would you put a Neil Smith, even though he's a traitor and went to the Broncos? The offensive lineman, of course, Gronniger, Shields. Are you infatuated enough to that your top 20 already includes a guy like Creed Humphrey or Trey Smith? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know who I left off, who I got right, who was on your list. And as always, we end the video by saying, go Chiefs!